Toffee TV, welcome to the show. It is all about these two gentlemen there, Romelu Lukaku and Ronald Koeman. Let's just get into Romelu Lukaku. The hard-hitting article came out last night. Wasn't really hard-hitting, was it? Wasn't what it was built up to be. I mean, what are your? I mean, I know what your reactions are. I'm not a bit severe, but what's your thoughts on what Romelu Lukaku had to say?
What do you mean a bit severe?
No, you weren't happy.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with there's the timing of it. I'm not happy.
Yeah, that's always been my.
That's what I'm pissed off with. It's not the fact that a lot of what he said was what in that article. A lot of what he said made sense, and it's a lot of what we've thought about as a fan base. It's what we've wanted to hear. Yeah. I've got a couple of issues with it. The first one is, why hasn't he said this 12 months ago when we didn't have any ambition? I don't know. Because I think unless he's been made promises since and they haven't come to fruition. Secondly, the timing of it, which is my biggest problem with it. I think if he'd have got, and I know that it's probably not even all, well, it's not all down to Romelu Lukaku. This comes back to his agent, really, in terms of feeding, what we said the other day, feeding the media with. It's 99.9% done. If Rom in himself is thinking, you know what, I'm not going to commit myself yet. I think I know that he wants to go back to Chelsea. I think he's a Chelsea fan. But if he's quite happy here, he's smiling, scoring goals. If he thinks, you know what, I'm not comfortable with signing this yet. However, I'll sit down in the summer and we'll have a little look at it, and you show me who's coming in. Yeah. And then if I'm happy, I'll commit to it. Right?
Yeah, go on.
But I just don't understand. And people are going, yeah, but he had to answer something because there's questions about it. He could have said to Raiola, listen, just say we're going to sit down with the club. I want to concentrate on scoring goals for Everton. Finish as we can. We'll sit down together in the summer. And even if he just penned that new deal the other day, we'd have still had these every single day. It's the media have got an agenda to get Romelu Lukaku out of Everton. Yeah. It's quite clear. And it even seems like some of our local media are intent on peddling that story. So that's what's annoyed me about it. But I can't also ignore the fact that a lot of what he said in the interview actually was correct, and it is about certain things anyway. It is.
Yeah, and we'll come on to what Koeman said today about that. But I mean, you're right. When I read it, I was just like, well, number one, what was worse was a lot of the headlines didn't match what was in it. No, and that led to me to believe that other things have been said off the record, right? Yeah. So, because we sat here the other day and we were saying, who leaked it? Who got it out? Did the club get it out? Did Raiola? No, he got it out. He was in a room. I was speaking to someone yesterday. They were initially there was the kick it out thing, and I think there was going to be something for Football Manager as well. And certain people had been invited. Don't know why we weren't invited, but you know, the word influential. Yeah, was used. I'm hate there and there.
I'm not.
And they sort of were told, no, leave that. And then he did this interview, and then if you think about it, it was like all these certain members of press just went, he wants to leave. So it was like a big group thing. So obviously all the media are there. I've been basically told by the player, they've got it out. Then they've obviously self-embargoed till last night. Got the story out because that's what they do. I've said this before. They're a press pack. They stick together. That's how it works. They all take a question each and make a headline out of it. But a lot of people's headlines were Romelu Lukaku wants to leave because of Everton's lack of ambition. Now, if you read the article again, it was a lot of things. It was like what he didn't say. He'd say something, then he'd go, "Do you know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink," sort of thing. And that sort of calm come through in a. Doesn't really it comes through in a video. It doesn't come through in an article. So it was a lot about what he didn't say. But what he did say was, goals is not enough. He wants trophies. He wants Champions League. The other thing was, he said there's players in the Premier League that he knows Everton could have gone for and didn't go for. I mean, number one, I'd love to know who those players are, and number two, he's not Steve Walsh and he's not Ronald Koeman, so that shouldn't. But I understand the idea of him wanting to play with better players, so I can understand that. And as you say, a lot of things he said are right about his time at Everton. And the thing about Man City and sort of saying where was our big signing? Where was why? Isn't,
but
no, I'm gonna say why isn't this thing moving fast enough? That's what he was sort of saying, wasn't it? But obviously the reasons are because there's financial fair play now.
And also the thing with the City thing made me laugh because City signed on a place was still shite. It was a few years later that everything clicked into place for them. Yet Robinho was a big name signing. We still beat them down at the Etihad when they weren't any great shakes. They were on the journey. It was just that was their statement, wasn't it? At a time when you could throw that money, you didn't have to go and our wage bill only allows us to pay £7.7 million and we're up to it until we sell X, Y and Z. We're knackered with it. That's what it was. In them days you could just go wage bill, we're paying that. So times have moved on a bit differently, and there has been a demonstration of ambition. Okay, it hasn't been big enough, but we knew that it wasn't going to be fixable within 2 transfer windows because of trying to shift the amount of players. This summer it goes up again because sponsorship's gone up and other things have gone up, so our financial fair play scale is much higher, so we can get that. That's why he's talked about the big signings in this summer. Koeman himself, he knows that stuff is underway at the moment. We're trying to get those players in, but again, I suppose from a Lukaku perspective, he's 23 and he's thinking, well, this isn't happening. But all I would say to him is, have you not noticed a big enough shift? Because when he was asked about Balassi and Schneiderlin, he then went, oh yeah, they're big signings. Well, alright, so give us another. It's gonna happen again.
Who could you have won? Where's the speedboat?
It's hard, and it's difficult because with us as fans, we deadline day, we want another half a dozen. It's what we do as fans. We want them.
So we can't argue with that because we sat here both deadline. But
that's this transfer window. Every manager in the world will tell you it's not ideal and all that. A lot of the big clubs didn't do anything. And yet I would say we had a very successful one this time because we got Schneiderlin, who's an absolute Rolls Royce, and Koeman, who's one of the hottest properties. We can't erase the August transfer window, which was poor.
Yeah, it was.
Let's be honest. Deadline day was a joke. It was a joke. It was meant to be 4 big players on deadline. And he went after 4 big players on deadline day, and he didn't get any of them, and we got Enner Valencia. So that I could understand.
Well, let me just ask you. Let me ask you just very quick before we move on to Ronald Koeman. 2 things he said though. One of them is something Koeman said about the signings in January. So he reflected what Koeman said. He also reflected what Farhad Moshiri had said in the general meeting when he was asked. When he basically said, "Well, Everton are always talking about the past." Both of them said that. He basically said in what
he said. Everton's it's a great club with great history, but we can't keep talking about this. And that's all bang on. Totally agree with him. He's absolutely spot on. They've got no issue with that. It's like I say, the timing of it's pissed me right off. Right, the Raiola thing annoyed me because it should have just been left hanged. He should have battered it till the summer, and then but obviously there's other stuff that is not getting said, which we know went on earlier in the week, which has made this a bigger story than what it's come out as. But I think everyone expected them to agree this week, and it's a U-turn as such. But like the gaffer said today, it's not the end of the story, is it?
Well, let's talk about today. Koeman was asked the question straight off. I mean, first of all, he was. I'd like to see.
I like the first question being about the team for Saturday.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Actually, I know we've seen the actual interview, but I can't really wait I can't wait to see the press stuff, because I think the press stuff's always a little bit more revealing.
What they
ask him, and I think managers are normally a little bit more candid. So if you thought that was candid, I can't wait to read them articles. But he sort of said, "Well, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not the end of the world." He said, "We've got 2 years left." He said, "It's not a problem."
Which mirrored what Moshiri said on Monday, didn't he?
He said it's not really a problem, but he did say what he did say was he was angry with him for saying things about ambition, because he said, "Well, I wouldn't be here if there was no ambition." So he was sort of calling the manager. So Koeman took it personally, that remark.
Yeah, I don't think it was levelled at Koeman. I think
nobody's took it personally.
Of course he has, because he would, because he I think his agent done a piece in about September or October, Koeman, saying Everton had to work hard to get him out to Southampton, because not because Everton aren't a big, but he was settled in. They were offering him a new deal, And there was other clubs sniffing around him. And Everton wanted him, and it was, well, I'm only going to go there. What's the story here? Because Everton finished 11th, we weren't really spending any money. And Mashiri went in, and his agent said he put the plan down, and he jumped at the chance. Bang, immediately, I'm interested. I mean, this is before the end of the season. Okay, so this is before. This is the day he says to Southampton in that press conference he's staying there. We know on the Friday that. So he's interested immediately. They've got him in the room. They've got his attention. Okay,
hooked him in,
and then they've gone bang. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And I don't think Mashiri's a bullshitter. I don't.
No.
I think there's too much has gone on in the 12 months he's been here. Okay.
Yeah.
But okay. So I think there's been real evidence there, and I think there's tangible stuff. I've said even from the last game of the season, there's been tangible stuff. Look at the stadium. We've done a video. Look at the stadium. Look at, this is announced. This is around the time we're announcing, probably, to me, certainly the biggest Everton news since I've been alive.
New stadium.
A new stadium on the docks.
Which Peel, basically.
Peel confirmed in France. It's about to be done. We all know anyway. Mayor Anderson that tells you every week.
We might have already done
other stuff might have been done with it, and we
might have already had a tour.
Even the other day, some Liverpool fan at the pop-up, and he was like, "It's happening. See you down at the," and that's the bloody mayor. So already that ambition is there, and it's gonna be there in bricks and mortar. Then there's the players, isn't it? And breeze block as well, and sand and everything else.
There's loads of sand.
There's loads of sand there, so we're all right. And he's already talking about the summer, and he's saying there will be 4 big signings, major signings. He didn't say he's not. Koeman's not. He's not the other fella. He's not a fantasist, is he? He's telling him, going, "This is what we're doing." So he will take it. If you sit and go, "There's no ambition here," he's gonna be pissed off, because he's going, "Hang on a sec. Well, no one's more ambitious than me." By the way,
there wasn't any ambition, but I think that's half the problem. Though half the problem is because there wasn't any ambition, and we used to live hand to mouth.
Yeah.
Mashiri's had to do so much stuff,
catching up.
Exactly. And he said as well, it's going to take more than one transfer window or one transfer year. It's going to take 2.
Can I just put something else to bed as well? As a picture going round of him at Runcorn Station with Duncan Ferguson, and people are like, he's going to London to see Mashiri. He's going to Manchester to watch Bill Kenwright's film. That's where he's off. Little exclusive for you.
From Runcorn?
On the train station with Duncan. Have you not seen a picture before?
But how would you get a train from Runcorn to Manchester?
Runcorn to Manchester, that's where they're going.
You can't get a train from Runcorn to Manchester.
That's where they're going. Trust me. That's where they're going. Anyway.
I trust you. I'm just trying to work out in my head how to get a train from Runcorn.
God knows, but that's where they're going. Bill Kenwright and Jenny Seago's in it, so
very good.
I'll see you later that. So I think the ambition thing, he will take it personally, won't he? And the stuff, the players, Rom's inside. I suppose he's inside the draft, but what Koeman said, and he was right, was you come and speak to me about that. And I'm glad he kicked his arse a little bit. It wasn't bad.
He worked both sides, didn't he? But what he's done is he's sort of pushed. He's made his point with his Barkley remark when they've asked him about Barkley's contract, and he said, "Well, he signs or he goes." Do you know what I mean? And that's what. That's more. I think that's more the statement than anything he said about anything about Ron, because he's not someone. He's someone. Everybody there. He's saying you sign or you go. And then he said about Klein at Southampton. He said he had the same problem. Not problem. He said he had the same situation. We sold him in the summer. He said that's just the way it is. He said that's business. That's football. But then what he did say was actually it's a business. But him and Ross need to show it's more than business. That's what he said. He said I don't know if he said it in the press conference or he said that afterwards, maybe to someone. But he said it's more. These have got to start showing it's more than just a business and start playing with a bit of this or showing a bit of this.
Did he? Wasn't in the press.
No, I think that was something he said to the press afterwards or radio or something. So he said, so.
And he also said there's a difference between Rom and Ross, because Ross is an Evertonian and stuff.
But what he was though was always in control.
Oh, unbelievable.
Always in control of the situation.
No bullshit, nothing, just... He didn't get flustered or anything.
No, he basically said, he's a footballer, footballers make decisions, but ultimately, we'll make the decision. That's what he said.
He said, he's played to score goals, which is what he said, and play games. And we're in control of the situation, and there's no issue. If Everton keep him... I think he was saying, we'll decide, if we want to keep him for another year, then we'll sell him. We will. That's the decision we'll make. He won't tell us that he's going. We will, and he's absolutely spot on with it.
Yeah, and I think hopefully it's been put to bed for at least Saturday. It'll come up again in the international.
He's going to go and speak away, isn't he? Yeah. We know he's going to talk away when he's away, and it's going to circle again. But they've had a meeting today, which he said. So hopefully, Ronald Koeman will have said to him, "Listen, just wind your neck in. Yeah. It's where you're going to talk about it in the summer. You'll sit down with the club again in the summer, whatever. And then if something changes in his next 2.5 months, it doesn't matter. If Everton go, look, Ron, he's coming. We're doing that, and he goes, yeah, I'm into that. I'll sign a contract now. Then great. If no one's going to go, well, you said you weren't doing it till the summer. They're going to be like, this is amazing. Yeah. Especially after what he said, especially after and what it's been reported. But, it's a time when everything needs to settle down. And I do think, I know a lot of people have given it out, but I do think that there is more to it than what's in black and white, you know what I mean? And I think that's why a lot of press went with the other story. Yeah. However, what was getting printed wasn't, like you said, the headline wasn't what was in the article. Yeah. So they either come out and put the off the record stuff, which they can't, or they just leave it where it is, because that's where, I mean, stuff like, Chelsea are buying him and Barkley, it's just bollocks. Yeah. It's absolutely
they're just bollocks. And people like Matt Law, people like him are just, this is why the press for me is I know they've always done it, but this is why people have such a little opinion of them. But the good people, that's why you go to the good people. That's why when people like Paul Joyce write things, you straight, and the Hunter writes things, you're straight on it. You know that they're genuine. You don't need to fill the back pages with shite, because they're good, solid writers who write good stuff, and people will listen. So,
I mean, a big takeaway from this is they're both very ambitious, which we knew anyway. And I think Koeman's absolutely determined to get. He's not going to let Everton drag him down, put it that way. So he will drag us up by his ambition, and it's out there now, isn't it? It's out there, and I suppose people might be happy, because I suppose the ball's in the board's court now, isn't it? And it's
happened before. It'll happen again. It happened to Suarez had the situation. Rooney had the situation. I mean, I remember Rooney's situation at Man United.
I know, but that's the other thing which is a bit mad, is that, like, I've seen, this is why I don't really want to get involved in it, but people have a go at Rooney for leaving, but Romelu Lukaku's getting lauded because he wants to leave.
No, what I was talking about, but I was talking about Man United situation.
No, he had it at United. Well, he said they weren't ambitious, Manchester United, didn't he? I suppose football's are changing, aren't they? Rapidly.
Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comments about the whole situation. And Saturday, obviously, against Hull City. We just get on with it, don't we? Just get on with it. Saturday.
He'll get at it.
He'll get on with it. We get on with it, and it'll all be what it'll be. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.